Hi, I'm Susan from the Quiet Zone. I'm your host today. Welcome back. And today's video is about toxic and negative people. Houston, we have a problem. So, toxic and negative people are everywhere. We meet them at work, like the crazy one in the next office who never has a nice thing to say about anybody ever, or your boss who doesn't seem to like anything you turn into him, but doesn't say anything, and you don't know if he's going to fire you or not. You can't tell. Then there's your mother-in-law who criticizes not only everything that you do, but everything that everybody else does. She's never happy about anything either and walks around with a puss on all the time. And then there, of course, is the neighbor who screams at all the kids and drives his car around without a muffler just to piss everybody off. Of course, there's also surly cashiers and gas station attendants, and you name it. They're everywhere. So that kind of person can make the Dalai Lama run for cover. We see them every day. And what can we do to manage this kind of person without getting angry and upset and irritated all the time? So the first thing I want to say to you is, contrary to what we might believe, um, we have no control over these people. Okay, they are going to do what they are going to do. It's how we react to them that makes us angry or upset or anxious or not. Okay, so I'm going to give you a checklist of some things that can help us deal not only with toxic people, but just with everybody. And the first one of those things on the checklist is to always stay calm. And I know you're laughing at me right now, like, oh, yeah, right. Okay. Um, there is a way to do it. I teach my clients all the time how to stay calm. There are strategies, and I could make a whole video just about that. But what you can do is resolve, if both of you, if you're having a disagreement or there's a toxic person around and you're really about to blow your top, you can say, you know what, I'm getting a little upset right now. I'd like to just take a step back. Can we talk about this in 5 minutes? I'd like to take a 5-minute break, or later on today, or whenever. Reschedule it, come back to it, but do come back to it. Now, the other thing that you can do is what I call a 30-second meditation. And what happens is when we start getting angry or upset or irritated or anxious, our thought process starts to spiral out of control. Okay, and our emotions get involved, and we lose, okay, our control, and we can't stay calm. So a way to break that spiral is this 30-second meditation. And all you have to do, I got a pencil in my hand, we'll use that. Pick anything up off your desk, out of your handbag, pick something you see, on the side of a building, whatever, examine it, look at it, 30 seconds, that's all you need. Okay, so what's it for? How is it made? What does it look like? Describe it. Wow, this is, and find something cool about it too. Like, this is pretty neat. It used to have to sharpen a pencil. Remember when we were kids with the, thing in the classroom? Well, look at this. All right, none of that now. And it's got an eraser built into the end, and I can click it to make the lead come down. Can't beat that, boy. That's pretty cool. 30 seconds. Okay, it'll bring you back. Okay, now next, remember the golden rule. Okay, and its cousin, be the change you want to see. So you treat other people the way you want to be treated. I mean, that it makes sense, right? That's logical. And be the change you want to see is kind of in the same vein. So that way you are demonstrating what you consider to be correct, polite behavior. Okay, and again, like we said in the last slide, we really don't have control over how other people think, but we can, and what they do, but we can set examples. And this one is really, it sounds crazy, but it works. Walking, and this is a good way to stay calm too. Walking a mile in someone else's moccasins. Why are they behaving the way that they're behaving? Are they just having a bad day? Think about the life experiences the toxic and negative people must have had to make them behave the way they do. It's got to be awful to feel that way every day, right? I mean, who wants to be nasty and negative and down all the time? That's terrible. Having compassion for them and whatever their situation might be doesn't make their behavior acceptable, but it does help us to stay calm and also to be kinder and more compassionate. And while you're at it, start asking yourself, well, what's motivating me? Okay. Now, most of the time it's your motivations are pure. Obviously, you don't want people to behave like jerks and you don't want people to treat you like a jerk. Um, excuse me. But ask yourself, am I pushing any buttons with somebody? Are my demands realistic? Am I being the person that I want to be? So make sure you're not looking for approval, make sure you're not looking for attention, and make sure that you are uh, doing this, being solution oriented. Okay. Um, Identify the problem and brainstorm solutions to fix it. Okay. Ditch the blame game. It doesn't help anyone. It's not going to solve the problem. Okay. Always be willing to compromise and be cooperative and collaborative. Work with others. Listen to their ideas. Okay. Their ideas are just as good as yours, no matter what. You may not think so, but they do. So give them the kindness of working with them. So there you go. Golden rule. Treat other people the way that you would want to be treated and look to solve the problem. Okay. Now, sometimes toxic and negative people have to be shut down. Okay. And I know when you're dealing with people like this on a regular basis, sometimes you want to pull your hair out. So there are some great techniques here for doing just that. The first is to use a technique called reflective listening. That is statements that sound like this. So it sounds like what you're looking for. It seems like you think, or I'm hearing that you want this. Am I right? Sometimes people just want to be heard. They want to be acknowledged. They want to know that you have heard what they're looking for. And sometimes that's enough to shut them down. If it's not, you can use the XYZ formula, and this is a really strong way to set a limit and shut people down. And what I should be telling you here too, which I almost forgot, tone is everything. You can be very kind and very loving and very gentle, or you can be very stern if the situation calls for it. And you also have to watch out because you don't want to be burning bridges. Because this XYZ statement can be really, really powerful. So that is, when you do X, I feel Y, and I'd like Z. And here are some examples. So when you criticize me constantly, I get very angry and upset. Could you please stop it? When you don't seem to like any of my reports, it's hard for me to know what you expect, and I get irritated. Do you think you can give me an idea of what you want on this project? You see where that's going. The broken record technique. Okay, so you can combine reflective listening and the XYZ statement and just keep repeating them over and over until the offender stops bugging you, okay? And that's really good with nosy people too. I really don't want to talk about that right now. I know you're really interested. It sounds like you're really interested in my date last night, but that's private and I'm not going to discuss that. You're a really good friend because you're so curious about what happened on my date last night. I appreciate that, but I really don't want to talk about it right now. When you keep asking me about my date last night after I've said I didn't want to talk about it, it's starting to piss me off. Do you think we could talk about something else right now? You see how this is going. Okay, so these are just a few of the skills that'll get you through conflict and toxic situations. Have you ever wondered if there's a better way to get along with everyone in your life? Maybe you come home from your mother-in-law's and cry for 2 hours. All she does is criticize everything you do. Or you constantly battle your spouse over chores, the kids, money, and you ask yourself, how can we work this stuff out without fighting all the time? Every time there's a family gathering, nosy Aunt Rosie wants to know when you're getting married for the millionth time, bless her heart. But how do you shut her down without hurting her feelings? It's time for you to take my power session called How to Handle Conflict Without Stress and Anxiety. So that way you'll know how to deal with your nasty boss and still stay sane. You'll learn the best way to communicate and be heard. You'll learn how to negotiate through conflict and how to diffuse criticism, and also how to deflect nosy people. After just one 45-minute session, you'll be able to handle your mother-in-law without starting a family war and communicate your partner, I can speak English, communicate with your partner without fighting and take back some control in your life. So learn how to ask for what you want, how to set limits without being bitchy, all in under an hour and all for $97. You get an instructional video. You'll get written cheat sheets with tips that you can use right away. And then you get a one-on-one Zoom coaching session with me where we pull it all together and we make sure that you're applying those techniques to what's going on in your life. Another great thing about these power sessions is that you can use them to try on coaching. So let's just say that you really want to get some help with stress and burnout. You know, you're kind of starting to go down that slippery slope, and you don't quite know how to get everything done with the time that's allotted because it's too much to do. So you want to get some guidance, but you don't want to spend a ton of money and you don't want to spend a ton of time. So if you're not going to like it, right, you don't know. So these power sessions are a great way for us to get to know each other. And you can have a power session, learn something for $97, see if you like coaching, and then you can decide if that's something that you might someday want to do. So all you have to do is go to www.thequietzonecoaching.com/shop. And that's where all my power sessions are. Right now, I've got 3 up there, but I'm sure there will be more very soon. So I want you to come and take a look. There are also one-off classes that you can take without a coaching session. So if you just want to work by yourself and you want the materials, they're only $39. There's also some free videos on my blog, which is on the website. So come down to the website, poke around, look around. I hope to see you there. And I also hope that you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you. Have a wonderful, amazing day, and I'll see you the next time.